Hey Crafty Mavens, it's Vanessa here, and welcome to the spring cleaning hop. And in this hop, a few of us design team members decided to select 5 things that we were going to pull from our stash to use on our layouts. So hopefully this layout finds everyone well, and if you are at home, hopefully the inspiration from this hop will get you in your scrapbook and creating some layouts. So the items that we had to choose for this hop were green and gold, buttons, florals, the oldest mixed media in your stash, and wood veneer. So the first thing that you see me doing here is I am taking the tag that you see here, which is an old tag. I believe this was from like a Amy Tangerine line a few years ago. And I've taken 2 different colors of Lindy's Stamp Gang mist, which these are probably some of the oldest mixed media supplies that I have is definitely the Lindy Stamp Gang. I started out with those when I first got into buying inks and things like that. And then another older item in my stash is definitely the Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. And so I pulled those out for my mixed media, and that's really the only mixed media I'm going to do is just that tag. So you definitely see there I'm pulling greens and golds for this layout, which is going to be my dominant colors on the layout. And so I set that tag off to the side to dry, and while it was drying, I actually off camera, and I showed it there quickly just a second ago, I went ahead and stamped some florals from a Maggie Holmes stamp that I got at Tuesday morning. And I stamped them in some black ink, and then I stamped them in some clear ink that I then embossed in gold. So I'm going to use those as my floral element for my page. So that brings in the florals that we had to use. And so I have the black and the gold florals that are going to be on this page. Here you see I have my background. I'm going to use that green cardstock to be the base layer, and then I have this very old piece of green pattern paper that it's actually very thin. It's from like a paper pad. I don't remember who made that paper pad, but it is very old from my stash, and it's a thin piece, so it definitely needs to be matted on that cardstock. But that's going to act as my background, and then I have a piece of pattern paper that has a very tiny black polka dot in it, and I believe that was from Pink Paisley, like an old collection a couple years ago. And I cut that in a triangle because it was only a scrap and there wasn't a lot of it left. So I have that is going to be the bottom half of my layout. Now I also took this washi tape with the scallop, and that is from Felicity Jane. I went ahead and matted that on white cardstock and cut out around the scallop so that I could then use it like you see me doing here to just kind of give some definition and to kind of finish off that seam where the 2 pattern papers meet. And so I really love how that looks. It kind of gives me a finishing edge. I did contemplate for a second using that black and gold washi to also add to the sort of seam, but I actually ended up not liking the look of it. I liked it much better with just how clean it looked with this scallop washi tape and the 2 pattern papers. So once I had that, that was my background done. I did mat my photo on a piece of white and gold striped pattern paper. And now I'm just going to take all of these bits and pieces, a lot of the florals and just some stickers that actually came from the Maggie Holmes sticker book. I matted those on white cardstock just to give them a little bit more stability. And I'm going to use those as the other probably main piece of embellishment or ephemera pieces that go on this layout are from that Maggie Holmes sticker book. So here you see I am going to go on a diagonal from the top left to the bottom right for my embellishing for this layout. So I don't really have 3 distinct clusters per se. I'm really just kind of going straight down the layout on that diagonal with embellishing. And I layer up all those florals. I add in some Mickey heads because the picture with my kiddos is actually from, or was taken at Disney World in the Contempra, their little self-serve kind of restaurant in the Contempra, right beside Chef Mickey. I think it's like the Contempro Cafe or something like that. We were sitting there and my kids were just goofing around, and I snapped this cute picture of my son and my daughter. So here I am just going through, and like I said, I had picked a ton of embellishments, all with that sort of gold or green or black and white theme to them, in keeping with the challenge and trying to keep with sort of a monochromatic color scheme of the green and gold. So I'm going to add some more layers. I do tons and tons of layering off camera. I do go ahead and pop some of this up to give me that dimension, because a lot of it's just paper. There you saw I did add my wood veneer. So I have my floral, my wood veneer, my mixed media, my green and gold, and the last thing that I needed to add for my 5 items were the buttons. Now, I have a hard time using buttons as they are, so what I did was I took these black and white striped buttons, and I believe these might have been from a Pink Paisley collection, but I can't remember. And instead of leaving them just as like a button where I'd put thread through them, I ended up taking and putting an enamel dot in the center, and that is how I was able to incorporate the buttons into my layout, because they're not typically something that I use a lot. Now, to finish off my layout, I am just going to come back through and just add a few of the gold enamel dots that I had in the buttons. I added a few extra throughout the layout, and then as a finishing touch, I of course had to add some beautiful Spiegel Mom Scraps sequins, and so I'm just going to scatter those here throughout the layout. And with that, I am going to splatter just a little bit more of the gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. And with that, this layout will be done. I will have still photos at the end. So please be sure to check the links down below for the other ladies who were able to participate in the spring cleaning hop. And with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.